world of professional wrestling has become stagnant. The monopoly of Vince McMahon's WWE has killed creativity and innovation on their own flagship show, WWE Raw. This lack of anything new with changes of character and matches and stories has sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. Things are boring. Now, why do I bring that up at the beginning of a review? Because let's face it, 2K has monopolized the wrestling genre, at least in America. This monopoly, just like WWE's monopoly of the wrestling world, has caused the company to become stagnant and uncreative and, let's face it, boring. WWE 2K17 is the game that we should have had 5-6 games ago when the changeover from THQ to 2K happened. But they went backwards and now we're back at the point that we should have been many years ago, and it shows. This year in WWE 2K17, there is no story mode to speak of. The previous showcase modes, which have carried the WWE 2K series since its inception, have been removed in favor of expanding the My Career and WWE Universe modes. While the version of the showcase mode that was featured in WWE 2K16 wasn't all that great, it was still focusing on the career of a great man, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But what do we have now? You have a My Career mode where at some point you get to skip past NXT and become a Paul Heyman guy and battle against John Cena in small and boring, stupid, repeating storylines. Otherwise, you can continue in NXT and work your way through the brand before moving on to the main roster, where you'll battle John Cena and others in boring storylines yet again. WWE Universe mode isn't much better as an alternative. It's your pretty much management mode where you get to fiddle about with stats and create rivalries and see things play out on TV if you want to play through every single match that comes through a show, which becomes boring, tedious, and takes forever, especially with the addition of the new promo mode. This mode gives you a chance to select lines from a series of 4 different lines and have them play out in a choose-your-own-adventure style, reading contest thing while the crowd either boos or cheers your actions. This is boring as hell. I'm a wrestling fan and this is sports entertainment in all its glory. Call me the relic of a bygone era, but I prefer spending my time watching or playing wrestling matches over reading a bunch of repeated scripted lines in my video games. If there was one thing that 2K Sports brought to the table that was innovative and fresh when they took over from THQ, was their scanning and motion capture systems. Both, at the time, were at the top of their game and produced the most amazing level of graphics that's ever been seen in a sports game. However, this stuff's aging badly. The characters in WWE 2K17 now look like rubber or plastic figures that awkwardly bounce around as they walk to the ring. This is no more evident than when you play the female characters in the game. Sure, they might have plastic parts in them, but acting and looking like living Barbie dolls is pretty crappy to see in modern day 2016. I'm sorry 2K, but Mattel has better scanning technology than you do now. Special mention has to go out to the extremely simplified menu screen of this year. This looks like something that you would see in the beta of a game rather than a full-fledged product. This looks cheap, nasty, and frankly just shows that they couldn't give a shit. The sound in WWE 2K17 is the exact same as every other year. It has been recycled from last year. Now, after experiencing the constantly updated nature of EA's Madden NFL 17, it's hard to sit there and listen to JBL, Jerry Lawler, and Michael Cole repeat the same stuff over and over again. Hell, they couldn't even bother adding Corey Graves and Tom Phillips or even Byron Saxton to the NXT brand this year. This stuff is lazy and I'm getting sick of it. Another thing that annoyed me about the sound this year was the WWE soundtrack. A selection of 13 songs picked by Sean Puff Daddy Combs. This is a waste of space. We should have gotten maybe some older themes or variations on themes, or hell, give us some updated themes for the people in the game rather than wasting time with a marketing gimmick with somebody that we couldn't give a flying fuck about. But at least the themes themselves are crystal clear as per usual, so I guess that's something to be praised. The changes that were put into WWE 2K16 have remained in WWE 2K17. Stamina and reversal bars are still here and as limiting as ever. The opening rock, paper, scissors, chain wrestling and rest hold moves are still here and are more annoying than the last time, as the computer instantly knows how to one-up you at all times this time around. And that goddamn struggle submission system is still here, but thankfully you can switch it out for a less annoying button mashing version that is somewhat fairer to use. Other than that, everything else is the same. You'll have no idea how to do anything because there's no tutorial mode anymore. There's no manual for you to look up anything. Characters themselves will slide around the ring a lot more in WWE 2K17 because it's more about the fluid animations than it is about actually looking like a proper product. And the less I say about the reversal system still being broken as hell, the further away I am from a rage-induced heart attack. In terms of match types to select, this feels looks like there's less of them, but that could be an illusion due to the very basic look of the menu system. I know that there is a new mode, the Backstage Brawl, which sees two wrestlers fighting in the backstage area of a WWE show. You can go through locker rooms, interview area, the authorities office, and more in this mode, which is a bit of a change, and it's good to see it around. You can also fight in the crowd again. This is something that a lot of fans have been wanting back in the game. And in addition to your breakout mode in the entrance where you can attack your opponent early, if you want to put an extra bit of smackdown on your opponent after a match, you can do that too now. It's good to see that they're willing to try and add little bits and pieces to make everything a bit more authentic. Creator Video and Creator Victory have been added to the Creation Suite this year, which is okay for those who are ultra creative and want to add that last personal touch to their superstars, but we still don't have a custom soundtrack option because this generation of consoles doesn't want to allow us to store MP3s for some reason. We also lost Creator Story Mode in this last generation of consoles. Frankly, who cares? Creator Superstar has also been streamlined as well, so there's less loading between parts. That's because they've taken out a lot of the options and replaced them with extremely generic looking base parts that just don't work for anything I want to do, at least. At the end of it all, there are some small changes here and there in WWE 2K17, but all it really has done is brought the game back to where it was when THQ was in control. I know 2K Sports wants to make WWE 2K17 more along the same line as their other sports games with a more simulation style, but that's not what wrestling fans want. Wrestling isn't about stat management and management of wrestler in the ring. It's about red hot action and getting your smackdown on. Somewhere along the way, 2K Sports has decided that they just want simulation everywhere. This doesn't work. WWE and wrestling fans deserve better. We need better than Yuke's hands-on development and 2K Sports simulation management in control of the creative side. To be honest, this is the last WWE 2K game I'm going to spend my money on. This used to be a series where I would buy the game every year, plus the season pass and everything else, because I felt like I was giving money to a worthy company. Now I feel like I've just been betrayed, the costs have gone up, and frankly, this is a game now where you're probably better off waiting till every second or third iteration before picking it up. This really is the collapse of one of the greatest wrestling game franchises out, and it is just really sad to see. I cannot recommend this game to anyone unless you haven't picked up any of the other 2K Sports WWE games before. The recorded audio portion of this review has been brought to you in part by Turtle Beach and their extremely well-made Stream microphone. You can find the review for this piece of equipment over at theouterhaven.net right now.